Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? There are two names that I want to give you. And this isn't a test. You don't have to write this down. I'm just making you aware because it's one thing when you go through the pre-draft process. If someone does that like mock draft predictor machine and then they screenshot the results and post it on Twitter and it's like, hey, this is the mock draft I put together. Awesome. I don't really care. It's another thing when members of the New Orleans Saints organization are meeting with prospects. That is very relevant, and you have my attention. Like, today we learned the New Orleans Saints are going to host Quinn Ewers on a top 30 visit. You only get 30 of those, where you can bring a prospect to your facility. The Saints are bringing Quinn Ewers here. They also had dinner with him the night before their pro day last Monday, for his pro day last Monday. They are spending an awful lot of time with Quinn Ewers. That is worthy of our attention. There's two players that they're doing this with as well that aren't necessarily your top tier draft picks, but are names I think you need to know. One of them, let's just be honest, he checks both boxes. Tony Pauline of Sportskeeda notes that at the What?
Sportskeeda is objective.
Sportskeeda.
That's objectively funny.
Sportskeeda. That's a stupid name
That's
for a website.
hilarious.
But he's got the report that at Ohio State's pro day, check
I like
one box.
it. Yeah.
Give me a ding. Come on, give me a ding. We got one ding.
Go on.
Defensive back Lathan Ransom is someone the Saints were showing an interest in. Pauline wrote, quote, Ransom is a cornerback safety hybrid who isn't a liability playing over the slot receiver, spent time with the New Orleans Saints at his pro day, who have shown an interest in the defensive back. Not only did Lathan Ransom attend The Ohio State University, he also has a very impressive 8.84
relative athletic score.
Give yourself a ding. Ohio State, high relative athletic score. Welcome to New Orleans, Lathan Ransom. By the way, I love this. This was him at his pro day talking about what makes him a great safety.
I think I deserve a spot on the team because I'm going to go in there and be a locker room guy first and foremost, be a guy that you never have to worry about. I'm going to know all the plays, I'm going to be on time, and then you're going to get the hardest hitting safety in the draft.
I love all of that. Listen, if you're trying to build culture with a new head coach and you have a guy saying you're going to get a team guy who's on time, who's going to know all the plays, and you're getting the hardest hitting safety in the draft, check, 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 check. I love all of that. Now, where that might fall in the draft, I don't know. But when you look at when you look at the Saints, I'm thinking Ohio State College on the brain. When you look at the Saints defensive backs, Paulson Adebo's to the Giants. You traded Marshawn Lattimore to Washington. So both of your opening week one starting corners last year are gone. You've got Kool-Aid and you've got Alante, who have both played outside. Now you moving Alante back to the slot, or you keeping him out on the boundary? If you keep him out on the boundary, you need a slot, and Lathan Ransom could fill that void. Also, you signed Justin Reed. You've got Tyrann Mathieu back, but this is potentially a guy that could play safety if, in fact, this is Tyrann Mathieu's last year in New Orleans. We'll see if that's how it plays out. But a versatile player who can cover the slot, who can kick back and play safety, hard hitter, team guy, all that stuff. Love it, and went to Ohio State and has a high relative athletic score. So check there. So Lathan Ransom from Ohio State, one name to keep in mind. The other is an offensive player from Pitt, and it's their tight end, Gavin Bartholomew. Now, Pitt's tight end coach, Jacob Bronowski, had this to say about Bartholomew as a blocker in the run game. And this is important because, remember, this is a guy who is 6'5", 264. Look, you just extended Juwan Johnson, right? Pass-catching tight end. This is a guy who's 6'5", 264. Here he is as a blocker.
Really good. I think in the fourth quarter, when you turn that tape on against North Carolina, I'm so proud of those two, because they were finishing blocks, whether it was downfield, in the box. It was fun to watch, and even Gavin on the last touchdown run there that Eli had, Gavin rolls his guy into the end zone 2-3 yards and really, really awesome block. So, really proud of those guys, especially to finish that game that way on the road. That's what you want to see. So moving forward, we just got to continue to execute at that high level in the blocking, the run game.
Now, Jerry DiPaola of Trib Total Media reported and was later confirmed by Nick Underhill that Saints tight ends coach Chase Hazalate took Bartholomew to dinner the night before Pitt's pro day on March 26th. So again, this isn't just somebody threw out a mock draft and Bartholomew showed up. The Saints tight ends coach went to Pitt and took him to dinner the night before his pro day. There's interest. You've got Juwan Johnson as a pass catcher. This would qualify as the more physical type tight end who, by the way, in 2023 averaged 18 yards a catch. This year, we saw that number drop to 8.5 per catch and 4 touchdowns, but still a guy that is a threat in the receiving game, but your big physical tight end. You've got Juwan Johnson back. You just extended him. Remember, Foster Moreau, as much as this may suck, Foster Moreau is entering the final year of his contract, and this is a non-guaranteed year. So if the Saints cut Foster Moreau, he doesn't count anything. There's no dead cap money on the books. He's got $4 million in salary. Should he be on the roster? But it's one of those things where Foster is a cut candidate. Like, we hate to say it and think of it that way, but it's true. He's a guy that coming into this year wasn't signed by the current staff. They extended Juwan Johnson, not Foster Moreau, and he's going to have to earn his spot. If they go draft a tight end, that could mean that's it for Foster. He's going to have to go to camp and earn his spot. And it is worth noting as well, everywhere that Kellen Moore has been as an OC, or now as a head coach, but really as an OC or quarterbacks coach, they have featured the tight end. They had Schultz in Dallas. He was in LA with the Chargers for 1 year. They had Gerald Everett and Donald Partham. You realize this? I don't know if I didn't realize this until I looked it up today. Everett had 51 catches for 411. Partham had 27 for 285. Those guys combined, the two tight ends, for 78 catches and 700 yards. Like, that would have combined to be the second leading receiver on the team behind Keenan Allen that year. The point is, and then Dallas Goedert and Philly, yes, like Kellen Moore wants to use his tight end as an integral part in the offense. So I believe fully these thoughts about maybe it's Tyler Warren at 9, maybe it's Mason Taylor at 40, or maybe it's someone like Gavin Bartholomew
Mason Taylor
as a day 3 pick. By the way, one more from Bronowski. This is the Pitt tight ends coach, about Bartholomew and his leadership ability.
I think he's been great. He's been really positive. He's been doing more. He's been bringing other guys along and wanting to meet extra. He's helping out with young Malachi a lot, which is awesome. I love that in our room. And then just in terms of the offense, like on days if it's a little bit slow at practice, like he's being loud, he's being vocal. And the neat thing is you're hearing a lot more guys on the offense side of the ball too. That's the special thing. So we just got to keep that going.
Love it. So just a couple of names to keep an eye on. We're talking so much about the top of the draft, but here's 2 guys that the Saints have had interest in. They've met with privately that could be day 2 or 3 picks, with Lathan Ransom from Ohio State, the defensive back, and Gavin Bartholomew, the tight end from Pitt. Just a couple names to keep an eye on as we are just a little over 3 weeks away from the NFL draft. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.